welcome back. So I'm starting off with my brows already done. I just use the Anastasia Dipbrow and then just conceal underneath my brow with this Glamoflauge concealer. I also put it all over my lid for my primer, and then I just set it with a cream colored eyeshadow just so that my lid won't crease. I am using the Morphebrushes 35C palette today, so I'm going to start off with this really nice warm brown shade, and I'm just going to be applying this in windshield wiper motions into my crease using this really nice blending brush from Makeup Addiction Cosmetics. I'm just going to be using this shade as my transition shade for some of the other darker colors that I'm going to be using today. So I'm just going to be building up the intensity of the transition shade, and then going in with this warmer kind of orangey shade. I'm going to be applying this also to my crease, just a little bit lower, making sure to apply it to the outer corner as well as the inner corner of my eye, and then just connecting it through the middle of the crease as well. What I do is I like to add color and then go back in with my fluffy blending brush and then just blend it all out. So I go in, add color, and then go back and then just blend it all out again. This just helps to build up the intensity for the look and make everything seamless. And then taking this darker kind of reddish brown shade, I'm going to be applying that to the outer and inner corner of my eyes and going to be building up that color as well. I'm just using a more pointed blending brush for this, and I want it to be nice and vibrant. So I'm just going to be applying that in windshield wiper motions as well, mostly focusing it in the outer and inner corner and then just connecting it through the crease, and then going back and blending. And then taking this dark brown shade, I'm pretty much going to be doing the exact same process. I'm going to be applying that to the outer corner, the inner corner, and then just connecting it through the crease, leaving the center of the lid without any color. And then I'm just going to be doing the same process, just going back and blending it all out. And then taking this teal shade that I'm not really a fan of, I'm just going to apply it to the lid as a base. It's not very pigmented, but it'll do. And then taking the Secret Weapon from Violet Voss glitter glue, I'm just going to take this amazing Lit Cosmetics glitter in the shade Peacock, and I'm just going to be pressing this onto the lid. I'm going to apply it all over the lid and a little bit up into the crease, just into my natural crease. It's okay if it's not perfect. I'm going to go back in and blend it a little bit later. And then I just take my finger with some more glitter and pop that on top. The reason is because I want it to look really glittery and not just like a pigment, you know what I mean? So I just add a little bit more with my finger, and then I just wipe away all of the fallout with a makeup wipe. And then I'm going to be using Soho lashes by Koko, and while my glue is drying, I'm just going to work on my face a little bit. So I'm using the NYX Angel Veil Primer, which is one of my favorites, and I'm just going to be pressing that into the skin. And then I'm going to take this e.l.f. Zapping Concealer. I love this concealer. It has amazing coverage, and it works on getting rid of blemishes at the same time, which is amazing, and it's only like $2. So if you guys haven't tried this, go try it. And then I'm just going to use my Plump potion from Physicians Formula to prep my lips for lipstick. And then my glue is ready, so I'm going to pop on these Soho lashes as close to my lash line as possible. And then I'm going to move on to foundation. I'm using this Maybelline Dream Velvet Foundation. It's a really nice kind of moussey formula, and it works best, I think, when you buff it into the skin rather than using a blending sponge. It gives a medium to full coverage. You can build it. It's really soft and smooth on the skin. The only thing is the texture is a little bit dry for me, but I do like it. I really like the coverage and the finish, but I still like my L'Oreal Pro Matte better just because it wears so long and it looks so amazing. And then moving on to concealer, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer. in Natural. And I'm just going to highlight with this underneath my eyes, my forehead, the bridge of my nose, and then also my chin. This is one of my favorite concealers. You'll watch me blend it out, and it just blends out amazing, and it's only $2.50 on most stores online. You can get this at Lady Moss. You can get it pretty much anywhere online. They have it at Ulta as well, and it is amazing. So I just use my sponge and I blend this out. And this sponge is the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. It's one of my favorites. I prefer this to the Beauty Blender just because I like how it lasts, and then also I like that it has the flat edge on one side. Once that's blended out, I'm going to go ahead and set that using this lighter shade and white shade from this Morphe contour palette. I'm just going to be setting that. The brush I'm using is the Morphe G2 brush, which is amazing. And I'm just going to be mixing those two and setting my under eye and anywhere else that I highlighted. I really like this palette. The powders are really creamy and soft, and they look flawless on the skin, so I highly recommend it. From the same palette, I'm going to be taking this bronzer shade, and I'm just going to be bronzing up the sides of my cheeks and forehead. This method that I'm using here is one of my favorites. I'm using the bronzer as a transitional shade for my contour, which I will be doing next. And I'm just using the tiniest amount of bronzer and just blending it into my hairline and then also the hollows of my cheeks. It gives a slight definition and warmth to the skin, but it's also prepping your contour. It acts as a transition shade. So I'm just going to blend that out and then go in with the cooler tone powder in the palette with a smaller contour brush, and I'm just going to be applying that right into the hollows of my cheeks and a little bit onto my forehead. And this just really gives you that flawless contoured look because your cheek just looks gradient. It doesn't have a harsh contour. Everything just looks nice and transitioned, and I really recommend trying this method. And then I'm taking my Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso and just popping that onto the cheeks for a nice flush. And for highlight, I'm going to be using the Mary Luminizer highlight. I'm just going to be popping this onto the high points of my cheeks. I'm also going to be applying it right above my brows, and then also to the bridge of my nose, and then also my Cupid's bow. I really love this highlighting brush. I just got it. It's from Morphebrushes. It's amazing. For some reason, it picks up so much pigment, so it applies your highlighter very intensely, which is why I like it. So if you guys haven't, check out this brush. I'll list it down below for you guys. And then I'm just going to pop that in the inner corners with a detail brush and then just underneath the brow bone. I am going to just contour my nose a little bit using a small blending brush and that warm shade from the same contour palette I used earlier. I'm not very good at nose contouring. I'm just barely getting into it, but I do a little bit just to make my nose look a little bit straighter because my nose is crooked, which gets on my last nerve. So I like to just add a little bit of definition to the bridge of my nose and then take that white powder shade, and I'm just going to place that right under where I placed the bronzer shade just to make my nose bridge look a little bit more narrow. And then taking that same transition shade that we used on the eyes earlier, I'm going to start by blending that onto the lower lash line. This is just going to act the same way it did on the lid. It's going to be a transition shade for the next shades we're using. So I'm taking that second shade that I used and I'm going to be applying that to the lower lash line with a detail brush and just blending that out. Then I'm just going to be taking a little bit more with a blending brush on that and just blending it out, and then taking a detailed brush with a dark brown and adding that to the outer corner. And then for glitter on the inner corner, you can just use the glitter that you used for the lid. I'm using this Urban Decay glitter liner just because it's a lot easier to apply and it doesn't have fallout, and it just so happened to match, you know, the glitter. So you don't have to use this one, you can just use the glitter, just use some glitter adhesive and then pop that on the lower lash line. And then I'm just going to pop on some mascara onto the lower lashes and then prep my lips for the lip color, which is going to be this new Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in the color Cork. It's a really nice medium true brown shade. It doesn't have a lot of undertones, it's just a really nice chocolatey brown. I love it. I highly recommend the Dose of Colors liquid lipsticks if you haven't tried them already. They're one of my favorite formulas because they last forever, they don't crumble, and they apply really, really smoothly. So go check them out if you haven't yet. They just released some new colors. And then that's going to be it for the look, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!